Hey there, commercial construction coffee talk fans. Thanks for chiming in. My name's David Corson. I'm your host. I'm also the publisher and editor of Commercial Construction and Renovation magazine. This is what it used to look like. We're digital now, but I'm pulling out some archives here. Let's see. This is December 2020, right at the end of the year. I got Deborah Delaney, Associate VP Design and Construction for March Sports Check. They're a sporting goods chain up in Canada, and this was a great looking issue. It was 148 pages. Let's see what I was doing. Oh, I got the dogs. That's my pack. Actually, the one big dog there, he just passed probably last year. I mean, it's been 18 months, but they're all rescues, and it was a good pack. So, in any event, it's always good to hold the magazine and see what I was doing. Actually, had a lot more hair. My hair wasn't as gray as it is there, but I'm looking okay. But it's always good to hold the magazine in my hands. But we went digital, and my last issue I printed was August of 2021 when we had White Castle on the cover, and it was their largest restaurant facility that they had built, and uh, went just completely digital. So it's been an amazing ride. Had just under 49 million people hit the website last year consuming content, and last month I was just under 8 million people just for the month. So all of you out there consuming our content, thank you so much for finding us on the web. Couldn't have done it without you. You're gold in my eyes, and it's been an amazing ride. So I'm hoping that by the end of the year, we could get up to like 70 million, maybe 80 million for the year. But at this rate, the way we're going, as long as we keep the Google algorithms happy, we should reach some serious numbers here by the end of the year. But I just take one day at a time. That's the only way that you got it. You can do it, and can look yourself in the mirror, get some REM sleep, and go do it again the following day. So beautiful day down here in Atlanta. It's in the 80s. We had some rain over the weekend, but the pollen is everywhere. You walk outside, I'm wiping it off. My wife just came back and brought my truck back, and she's like, "Hey, I just washed your car." You go, "Oh, I can't tell. It's all green already." So, uh, it's blooming down here. If you've got allergies, don't come to Atlanta because it is just full of pollen for the next month. Normally, the whole month of April. May comes in and then the humidity comes in June. But April is pollen month in the South, and it is just. My son just came in from Dallas over the weekend. The first place he went was to CVS to get some allergy pills because the pollen was just everywhere. So, but uh, it's gonna be nice all week, and the remainder of the week and going into the weekend. So can't complain. And we're finishing the house. It's like a Lego set. Pouring my driveway, doing my landscaping. I'm getting my temp to perm electric on Monday, and floors getting delivered. In the next couple of weeks, that house will be finished, and then get my final inspection and sell this house, get ready to move. And every time I've been in Atlanta since 92. I think this is my sixth house. But every time I've moved, it's been like June and July. I told my wife, I go, we are not moving in humidity. So let's get this the house ready, finish this house, get the one we're living in, sell it, and move in May. And then enjoy the summer and the heat and the humidity and the dog days of summer down here in the South. But all in all, it's been an amazing week. Lots of wins, lots of learns, and looking forward to the weekend and continuing on with finishing the house. And I've got a 200-page magazine I'm proofing right now that'll post on Monday. That's probably one of the biggest ones I've done in a while, but lots of stuff in there. So when it posts, if you're looking for it, lots of strong editorial and our eighth annual project awards in there. I think I had 107 that I featured. So to all you who submitted projects, we appreciate you all out there. But today, I have a nice lady in one of my favorite towns up north in Baltimore. Her name is Marcy Sagel. Did I pronounce that right?
Did. You got it.
All right. And she's the principal and founder of MSA Design, an interior design firm. They do commercial projects. Marcy, say hello from Baltimore to our guests out there on Commercial Construction Coffee Talk.
Thanks for having me on the show, David. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. And Marcy, you got to tell our listeners out there the story on the cool stained glass window and the property that you're in.
Yeah, this is an old church from the 1840s, located in Baltimore City, that we purchased in 2017. And our office is in this building. It's 3 floors, and it's been a fantastic space for us. And we basically had to rewire it from scratch and kind of get it rezoned to be commercial. And it was a great project, all in all, great teamwork here.
What did you find the church, or did you know about it, or did you just say, "Hey, that'd be a cool place to renovate to have an
I
office"?
drove by it a lot and did not know it was going to be for sale. And then it went up for sale, and I called my real estate agent and said, "Hey, I found a spot. I need to purchase it. Can you get me in right away?" She did. It needed to have rezoning done because they were going to make townhouses out of it. And we went to zoning. We got everything done within a 30-day period. And the next thing you know, we're moved in, and it's been just such a great purchase for our company.
Well, the stained glass is beautiful.
Yeah.
Like when we were talking before we went live, they just don't make them that way, you know. So when you can find something that you can, rehabilitate and give it a little modern flash, but maintain that old heritage, that's the coolest thing of a reuse project, in my opinion, you know.
It's been great. Every single office in the entire building has the original stained glass, and we put a plexi in front of it for air because they're not very ventilated.
Mm-hmm.
So just during the hot and cold months, it really helps to have that sort of extra layer.
No,
Yeah.
absolutely. Hey, like I said, the first thing I saw, I was like, "Ooh, that's really cool." I wonder what kind of, that was my first question. What kind of building is that you're in? So you just don't see that craftsmanship. And I kind of like, I love people that reuse stuff. My family's in construction. We've been in recycling, demolition in Pottstown, Pennsylvania, which is just outside of about 45 minutes outside of Philly, just west of Valley Forge for about 15 minutes. Anyway. They've been in business since 1888. We were in sustainability before that was even a word, but uh, we just when people reuse stuff and they maintain the character, but they put they make the building modern, whether it's smart stuff or any of those kind of things, but they keep the heritage. God, that's just awesome. So congratulations on having the vision. Hey, that could be my office. Townhomes, I want it to be my office. So that's just awesome when and your real estate agent, what? You want to buy that church? Or was she like, hey, that's a really good idea? What did they say when you called them?
He knows me well enough. We were in an old broom factory, our office before that. And my friend actually owns the building, and we were the first renovation to be an office in his building. We had 14-foot high ceilings, the original floors that were over 130 years old.
Oh, wow.
We came in and we resanded and made them, they weren't even usable. So we had the old elevator in that building. So she knew I already liked old things and liked to modernize them. So I helped modernize the broom factory and kind of turn that into an office. And so this was just kind of a perfect fit for us.
Well,
Yeah.
good for you. Way to go. That's hey, you have a plan, you made it happen, you had a vision, and here you are. And hopefully you'll keep it for a long time. And that stained glass, I'm going to remember that for a long time. So. Well, here's how we're going to work it. We do our interviews in 3 parts. You'll tell your story, where you grew up, where you went to school, kids, sports, basically your resume and how you ended up where you are today. Then we'll talk about lessons learned over the last 5 years of the roller coaster that we've all been on. Even though we're coming out of the tunnel and we're out of there, there's still some potholes and speed bumps that we're going through, and any cool projects that you might be working on, or any trends that you might see, from a designer's perspective. And then you'll leave your contact info and one positive thought or phrase, and then we'll close it out. So with that said, the floor is yours. Tell us your story.
Well, thanks. Let's see. I'm definitely a Marylander. I was born in Baltimore, raised in Annapolis. My whole family moved to Annapolis, and I love to sail. Annapolis is on the water. For anyone who doesn't know, it's on the Chesapeake Bay, and I grew up sailing there and love to be near water. It's kind of like a really big thing for me. So um, I moved for school. I went to school in Boston, then I went to school in Maryland, and then I went to school in Philadelphia. And I know you're from Philly. And then after that, I moved back to Boston to work. And then I moved to Toronto in Canada to also work. And then I moved back here in Baltimore.
Were you
And
always in design on all those moves?
I have been in design all these moves. Yep.
Oh wow. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Well, listen, that's a whole array of cities. I mean, I love the TO across the border. You just don't go there in the winter because if you walk out of your hotel with your hair wet, your hair will break. But I learned that the hard way. Actually, I used to go to hockey school every summer up in Toronto.
Yeah.
And for about a month, it was called the Hockey Ranch. It was up in Pickering, Ontario, which is it was a little dinky town outside of Toronto, maybe 45 minutes. I don't even know if the place, but it was called the Hockey Ranch, and it was 4 hours of horseback and 4 hours of hockey. I lived on the ranch. We did, capture the flag. We're out there, and during the summer they have the expo going on, so they would take us down there. I think my last trip, I think Star Wars had just come out. I'm dating myself, but loved going up there, living on the ranch, and we had horses outside of Philly. And we had stables, so it was good for me, not only for my horseback, but also for my skating. And but the TO is a great town. But all those towns you said, I mean, they all have that old flair and the modern, and they've been around for a long time. So, and like I said, Baltimore's like a small Philadelphia. That's the way I looked at it. And
Absolutely.
you don't have a Philly twang, you don't have that Delaware twang. Everybody's kind of have that. It's like, where are you from? Oh, Baltimore. Oh no, you're from Philly. Oh no, you're from Jersey. I get it. Am I right?
Yeah, absolutely. We have great food here. Everyone loves to come here for the food. It's definitely a food destination now.
So
So,
crabs.
yeah,
You live in Maryland, right? So
we're all about the crab cakes, steamed shrimp, and hard shell crabs on the table.
absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
That it's either lacrosse or crabs. That's what I think of Maryland, and the Terps, obviously. So, I'm a lacrosse guy, so I did plenty of time down in Baltimore in my younger days. Actually, I was more of a hockey guy and a lacrosse guy, but it some of the best lacrosse ever in Baltimore, and nothing like
Well, same
yeah, absolutely.
here.
So. The when did you know you were going to be a design person when you were growing
I
up, or
actually did know I was going to be a design person. So when I was younger, my mother loved design, and she had worked with. I'd come home from like summer, like sports camp, and we'd be away for 4 weeks, 8 weeks, depending on what camp it was. And I'd come back, and the whole house would be redone in something else. Like my mom would pick a different area, and every single time. And as I got older, I started working with her to try to pick the options and figure out the direction that we were going to go in. And it became a passion at a very young age. And I absolutely knew I wanted to be a designer. I thought you had to be a little older to be a designer, like, because all of these women that my mom was working with were kind of older. And I thought, oh, maybe you have to be a little older. So I wanted to go out there and get some expertise. And so I went out there and, put my work cap on and really honed my skills.
did you go to school and get your design, your
I
design, or were you business, or
I did. I went and got a design degree, and you know, um, I did graphic design and interior design, and loved every aspect of it because I do think they're kind of entwined. You're looking at graphic patterns, and you're looking at how you're going to brand things, and what we do from a commercial design point really, really is focused on the brand that we are creating for the client. So.
yeah. My wife's an interior designer and color consultant, so she designed our house and does all that stuff. And we bought this land back in 2020 that we're working on now. And I told her, I said, look, if we build this, we're going to build ourselves. We want it for the portfolio. We've done plenty of bathrooms and basements and kitchens, but you really need this ground up for your portfolio. So we'll do it, and it's been an amazing ride, and can't wait to get my last inspection and finish it. and move in. And it's exciting. And listen, never a dull moment. There's always things that come up and think, and but you know what? You make a decision, you move on, you learn, and in your next build, you remember, hey, remember when we did that? We need to do this. This county doesn't make it, but maybe we should do it this way. And so, but it was really exciting. And we're still married. I thought we were going to rip each other's heads off, but yeah, I learned a long time ago, man. Hey, you're
You
the
can make it through the
designer. I'm
design
just that.
process, you're good.
Yeah, no, there's only one time when we graded it and we were going to put it in a basement and the land really, it had a 25% slope. And I called her up and said, "Hey, babe, Houston, we have a problem. You got to come up here. The driveway's going to be way too steep if we put the basement in for my mother. Got to bring way too much dirt. It's not going to look good. You got to come up here and make a decision." So she came up, the grader's there, and he's like, "Get rid of the basement. You don't need that thing anyway. You already had the trophy house, blah, blah, blah." So we did it, and it was the best decision I had. But uh, she did a really good job. And, after you design stuff, you look at it, and then after you're done, you're like, "Oh, I wish I would have done that." And I'm like, you can't play that game. You just kind of have to, go with it and you remember it down the road. But it's been fun. And, very excited. I thought I'd turn this off. But anyway, we, we just had a great time designing it, and we're in the last couple of weeks. It's just I'm waiting for.
Finish line. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, it's like putting a Lego set together the last month. As things get to, we're done constructing, and it's just things get to, are getting delivered every day, and things happen, and I keep sending pictures to my parent, my mother or my friends. I'm like, yeah, and I'm like, oh my God, it's looking like a house, or real. I'm like, yeah, we're almost done, and so we're hoping that weather permitting, will be done here in the next couple of weeks. So. Um, Let's talk about the last 5 years. So March of 2020, everything's cruising along, and then boom, everything stops. And talk about how what you learned and how you weathered the storm, as we go into the rest of 2025, and anything that you kind of did that you think our listeners out there in commercial construction coffee talk would find of interest.
Yeah, I think it kind of started for me in the last recession in the 08-11. I learned a big lesson. We had too many eggs in one basket because we specialized in just multifamily, regular multifamily housing. And when I had too many eggs in my basket and the economy kind of definitely tanked in our industry, I swore that I was going to open 5 additional revenue streams after the downturn. So I spent from 2011 all the way to now growing all those different revenue streams so that if anything happened to the economy, our business was still going to continue.
Yeah.
And our projects typically take anywhere from 1 to 3 years. They have a long shelf life for the most part. So, you know, during COVID, we were actually incredibly busy, which is unusual because our projects are so lengthy and they take such a long period of time. The only thing that really happened during COVID was, of course, obviously remoting people very quickly, which we did. And then we work remotely anyway for a lot of our projects because they're around the country and all over. So we already had, and we're lucky enough to have that system already set up. And I had worked on growing the revenue streams from multifamily to affordable housing, to student housing, to senior living, healthcare, and hospitals, and just adding as many revenue streams as we could. Because to us, we have the expertise in design in all of these different areas. So we just kind of went and grew those different growth patterns. And, it was just actually 2 of us in the office and everyone else was remote. And so just 2 of us came in every day, one at one side of the office building and one at the other. Everyone else was remote. We did a lot of kind of team building things to kind of keep everybody, in a culture and make everybody kind of feel comfortable and like we were back in the office. So, I think part of what we learned was that, let's just go with it, see what happens. Whatever our clients' needs are, they're going to change over this COVID period. And because we do multifamily housing, we basically had to adjust a lot of design that we were doing to be more like areas where one person could be and small groups of people instead of these large groups of people. So before we were designing where lots of people could hang out in the lobby, and then all of a sudden it got condensed to sort of these small little Zoom rooms and small little areas where one pod and people could be scattered throughout the building by themselves to come out of their apartment because you're in a house, I'm in a house, but a lot of people are in their apartments. And so coming and going from their apartment was risking being sick and being around other people. So you wanted people to really start to have these areas where they could feel comfortable and safe to be by themselves within the building and giving them those, opportunities to kind of get out of their apartment.
The good thing is
So,
a lot of those different types of projects that you were working on, they were probably deemed essential anyway. So,
oh yeah. Oh yeah,
so,
working on a
so
lot of hospital projects, they were actually elevated to as quickly as we could get them done. Instead of like maybe a 3 to 5 year time frame in a hospital, big renovation, they were moved up very, very quickly, and we were working probably 3 times our normal speed to try to get things done for people. So it was fun.
yeah, I'll tell you, the multifamily sector just boomed. It was just start. It just boomed over those years. We put a multifamily section in the magazine, and right in the beginning, but it was getting busy as it was. But then when March 2020 and beyond, came down, everybody got into that multifamily sector, and it was amazing to see the momentum that sector had. And I mean, here in Georgia, we really didn't close down, so there were a couple projects I watched, and I saw kind of some of the protections that they put on some of they were building a fire station. There was an old folks home, and then a big condo project. But I watched them all go up. But it was interesting to see how they, did their scheduling. You could see that, they wasn't like everybody was on there at once. But it was interesting how it all went. But from my standpoint, because I was driving by there and looking, and other people probably didn't even, oh, they're building something there. I'm like, no, no, look, they're doing all that stuff. They see it. They got the wash station there. They got the signs up. Everybody, but yeah, the multifamily, it's just been amazing to see that sector, go up. And right now, I told my wife, we don't have our license. So after this is done, one of us is going to go take our contractor's license and go out. And I said, hey, listen, if I take a test, I don't care, but we're going to go get it because obviously there's a shortage of homes in the States. So we want to go build some more. And actually, I got a lead on one right now. I'm hoping I'm working on my estimate right now, and hopefully we'll be able to get that project and build it. So uh, and gain some more experience, as they say. But I'm glad you were busy though through that time period because listen,
Very grateful to be able to work on the kind of projects that we worked on, and just things were empty, and the ability to kind of work on renovations and things that normally couldn't get done in a short period of time. We were very, very lucky to work on those projects. So
yeah.
student housing, they all shut down at all the universities. So we were able to get in and really do some renovations and things that we didn't even expect to be working on.
I'll tell you, the people like if you were a hotelier and you were in a state where they, basically locked everything down or semi-locked down, and you were thinking about instead of doing a floor, one floor at a time like they normally do, here was an opportunity that, hey, eventually we're going to the country's going to open back up. You might as well get this time where your property is quiet. You can get everything done so when it does open up, you're prepared. The smart hoteliers and just in general, if you had a store that needed a facelift or some new fixtures or paint or carpet or any of that stuff, that was the time to do it. And the smart commercial guys that had facilities and they got it done, they were the ones that were ahead of the curve. And the other ones that didn't, they're probably, playing catch up still, uh, with labor shortages, products, and all that other stuff. I mean, the first thing I did, I went and redid my deck. That was the first thing I did in March. But I'll tell you, if I would have waited 2 months, those 2 by 10s or eights, whatever I was buying, they would have been like 4 or 5 times the price. And
Yeah.
I was lucky, that we did that. And it was it was a crazy time, but I'll tell you, I learned more about my company. And I've talked to a lot of people, and so many people said, I learned more about my company, my people, that they could work at home, uh, and that they were productive, that they had that work-life balance. And the biggest thing right now that so many people said I would have done more if I could have found more project managers or superintendents. There was the shortage. Other than that, I didn't want to take on any of this because if you don't want to bite off more than you can chew, and if you can't deliver, that's a bummer. But a lot of people said I could have done. I had some of my best years over the last 5 years, but those people that I couldn't find to get the projects done was my hindrance. And right?
Yeah, I mean, basically, I mean, I had to fly up to Buffalo in COVID for a project and, lockdown, everything, the building is just, on lockdown and we're trying to get it done. And, it was so much fun meeting with the developer and just kind of like, he was so excited that I didn't mind coming up there. I think I either jumped on a plane one time and another time I drove up and you do what you had to do and we got it done and we hired companies that didn't mind going on the job site and getting it done. And I had one delivery company that actually delivered stuff to the door and then they left. And I'm like, okay, but I'm paying you guys to get the stuff in the door and up the stairs. So my client, I picked up the phone, called him, told him what was going on because it was COVID. People were acting a little bit strange.
Right.
So he said, how many guys do you need? I said, I probably need about 10 to 15 guys, minimal. He goes, they're on their way. I'm sending them all down and they're going to help you until it's done.
Good
And
for you.
we got it done. And it was amazing. And it was just this great feeling at the end. And, I bought all the guys, like something after brought a whole bunch of beer and we had this clubhouse up there that we were doing. And I just brought all kinds of snacks and food and beer and everybody joined in together and we were all really happy that we could even pull it off. So
Oh,
it
yeah.
was fun. You just kind of like you go with it and whatever you have to do, you get the job done. You've got great people that you're working with, great construction crews and great clients. And we just, made the most of it.
I'll
So
tell you, I had just bought my mic. I was going to go on the road and do these interviews on the construction site, and then everything went kaput. And I said, okay, I'll just do these things on Zoom. And I was awful. I mean, I look back at some of my early episodes, and but now this isn't going away. This is Zoom, Teams, whatever platform you might be on. It's a godsend because if you know that you have to drive 2.5 hours, 3 hours to look at a little picture, you can do it here technologically, with software, and then you can pick and choose where if there's a punch list a punch list item that you really need to take a look at, or something came up on the site that you need to do, in person, you can choose where you want to go. So this is just an asset, but we use it and it's not going to go anywhere. It's just going to get better as time goes on. And but I'll tell you talking about people they drop and stuff. We had our issues that we always used to hire a photographer wherever the person was. We'd take the cover picture for if they were inside the magazine, and that all had to stop. So my artist has been with me forever. He's a great Photoshop person. So it came to a point where I was like, hey, look, just send me some pictures, pose like this, and we'll Photoshop you on there. You won't even know that it is. And I'm probably giving my secrets, but I'm telling you, a lot of our covers, we Photoshopped a lot of those people on there because I wasn't able to get into I forget when it was. It was I had a person, I think it was on my May issue. She was with a tattoo removal brand, and we were going to take her picture of Manhattan. Manhattan was like totally locked down, and she ended up having to drive up to Buffalo to get the picture done. And anyway, it was one of those things. So we ran into it. So finally, I told my artist, said, "Look, we'll just have them send it to us, Photoshop them in there, and we'll make them look good." And you can't tell. It's just amazing what you can do. So now, and when I look back, oh my God, we spent a lot of money on the photographers. Now it's like, hey, send me some pictures, whatever, and we'll just get it. If you have a cover shot, great. If not, we'll put you on top of, on top of a picture that you send to us, and we'll make it look good. And sometimes they'll get back and say, oh my God, how'd you do that? Well, we just enlarged you a little there, and you put you on there, and made you. And he's like, wow, you can't tell. And I go, I know, it's technology. So,
Pretty
um,
amazing.
but
Amazing what
we.
you can.
But we had to change our whole aspect. I'll tell you, I I had just had my event in January in Jacksonville, and we used to do a cocktail party every month. And my first one was in down in Coconut Grove outside of Miami at an outdoor shopping center. It was getting renovated, and I was up in Milwaukee looking at hotels for that summer for my executive retreats, and then everything went kaput. And my artist and my editor were like, "Hey, let's go digital. We have all these pages and content." And I was old school. I liked having the magazine. And I said, "Okay." Well, I called a couple of my advertisers. I said, "Hey, I can do so much more for you digitally. And you got 75 people in your office. I'm only sending a couple of magazines up there. This way you can, let people know what you're doing. And they probably don't even have seen your ad or any of that stuff." And so we rolled the dice. It was scary though. My wife I get up in April and put out my March, April issue. And I'd get up in the middle of the night. She's, "Where are you going?" I'm like, "I got to think," because it was scary. Because you're going from print face to face to the digital realm, and uh, but I don't miss the post office. I don't miss the printer, and I had never ever had that kind of traffic on my website. It just kind of blossomed. But the only uh, I had a digital magazine forever. I was lucky I had that. If I didn't have that, I don't know what I would have done. But it was just a decision, and after you got used to it, I look back and I still miss holding the magazine in my hands and stuff, but it's just so much easier from a production standpoint, as well as I mean, I looked at my son. My son, he didn't even know what a magazine was. He's looking at his watch, he's looking at his phone, I mean, so I just went with the flow, and here I am. I'm really a content creator right now. I mean, that's what I am. I was I'm a builder. I used to build this with paper, ink, and postage. Now I just do it digitally, but I'm still a builder. I still say, "Hey, I built that," and I still love, I can say that I did that, and I look forward to the next one and the next one. And if you're not having fun, go do something else. That's kind of, the way that I went. But it was scary for a lot of people, just in general. I mean, right now, it's getting people back in the office. How do I do that? They want to go to the beach, they want to go to the game, they don't come back to the office, or as an owner, do you do hybrid, or occupancy rates are down in the cities? How do you get people up? And then if you can't, people are downsizing, and what do you do with that reuse space? And it's an amazing time to be alive. And now with AI, that component in there, you won't even recognize the construction project, process probably in 5 years. It's just going to be completely different. Am I right or am I wrong on there?
You're completely right. I mean, I lost my hearing during COVID at the beginning. And so I'm reading caption. Okay, I can hear now. I have much better hearing. I didn't have any hearing back then, but at the beginning, I was literally, no one had any idea that I had lost my hearing because I was literally looking at caption the entire time during COVID. And so I I wasn't the only one, actually. I found out that another one of my developers that I work with, he had lost his hearing completely, and he was completely deaf, and he was reading caption. And so we're texting each other and we're giving each other sort of pointers. And obviously I have some hearing now, but it was scary. It was a scary time for me health wise. And so, here I was working nonstop and trying for, a long time not to let anybody know that I lost my hearing, because I didn't want anyone to think that that would affect the work that I did or how I was going to work with them. And then, so you adapt, you figure it out, you grow, you learn from it, you get stronger from it, and it makes you a better designer. It makes you a better person. And, you kind of adapt to it. That's
Did you
all.
think about doing the sign language gig or not?
No, because I have hearing on my left side. I have some hearing. And so, it all kind of worked out. Like I definitely, and it balances out after time and you get used to it and it's much more adaptable to what you're doing. And so I definitely am lucky that I have some hearing in my left ear still. So yeah, it's adaptability, learning how to figure it out. And, it's the same thing with any project. You're going to have all kinds of issues on projects because that's the way construction is, as you just said earlier in the show. So when you have those issues with construction, you figure it out, you figure out solutions and you make it work. And, in the end, everyone's happy and you walk away with a great project. And that's really what the name of the game is.
Well,
So
at least you're in Baltimore because some of the top hospitals, John Hopkins, et cetera, are right in your backyard. So, you probably had the best doctors or whatever that could
I
have
was
figured out
there
what.
every week during COVID and it was shut down. Like literally parts of the hospital were shut down. So I'd see the head of each department every week. And I'm like, where are all the patients? And they said, in our section of the hospital, it's shut down because it's not the emergency section. And the other side of the hospital where everyone was going for the ER and sort of like getting admitted for COVID. So I just was really, they took amazing care of me. They really rolled out the red carpet for me during a very difficult time for the hospital. And I'm grateful. Truly, I am.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. Um, it, as you look back, what was one of your favorite projects that you designed over your career?
so we have so many great projects. They all have different components that I love. But we just recently were working on the Commander Stadium and we got to do a lot of renovations on all the owners' suites and the main area where you enter for the suites. And we took it from sort of like dark and, really dated to light, airy, fun, modern, major wow factor. So that's been really, really fun and exciting. And, again, working on some of the original like platinum leads projects we did the first multifamily platinum leads project in DC. And still one of my favorite projects because I had a mentor who was my client who gave me guidance and helped me do my first full building. And, was really there by my side, just really helping me learn about all of the nuances of multifamily design. So grateful for that. And, all of the buildings that we put out, we're rolling out a student housing at Morgan, which is actually going to roll out in July. Students will move in beginning of August. And, I just did a walkthrough. It's an amazing project. I really like what we're doing in there. It feels really comfortable. It's very spacious in each of the rooms. So, each one has its own sort of little thing that I love. So I kind of take away a little thing from every project and learn from each project.
And your office one, I'm sure, is in the top five, right? Where you're at, right?
We'll have to see. I love that project, but maybe we pick another space to do. I love
Yeah.
I love doing our own spaces. That's kind of the fun part.
Yeah.
So
It's so cool to talk to designers because they've done so many different things, and then obviously you bought the church, you renovated it, and you got your stamp on it, but then you might expand, you might go into another city and find something else, and it's just so cool to listen to a designer that "Oh, I've done so many projects, but this one was really really cool, and that one's one of my favorites, and so that's why whenever I have designers, I always ask, what's one of your favorite projects? And they think back and then they're like, oh, I forgot about this one too. And you look back and so uh, the as we move forward, we just finished Q1. Now we're going into Q2 in 2025. And before you know it, it's going to be, the holidays because time is just at warp speed. Do you see any trends that you see out there that are coming down the pike that our listeners out there should, kind of look at it if they're driving down the highway or in a city going, oh, yeah, I just heard about that, that are out there that we should know about?
Well, we've been putting a lot of golf simulators in, which has been going on for a while, and they also have racing simulators, golf simulators. We're doing a car club that we're putting a whole bunch of gaming things in. That's kind of fun. But I think for us, it's like I love these really like subject matter vending machines, like a tool library where you can borrow tools from a vending machine and basically rent them out or just take them out to go work on different projects that you might have. And in a lot of these multifamily spaces, we're making what's called a maker space. So it's an area for you to work on different projects. And if you don't have the tools, which a lot of people don't have the tools if you're working out of an apartment, it's so nice to be able to borrow them. And the same thing with the bicycle. So if there's a bicycle space where you can store your bicycle, we have a vending machine for bicycle parts, for tubes, for all of the things that you would need to patch a tire and blow a tire up and do all of those fun things to your bike. Those things are fun and exciting to me, and we constantly try to come up with new ideas and fun things to do.
The tool thing sounds awesome. I mean, if you could rent it and not buy it, it's just and you're only going to use it once. Well, maybe you'll use it more. I don't know, but I mean, that's the way to go, in my opinion, right?
Absolutely. I mean, it also gives you a chance to maybe do something that you've never done before. So, you don't want to go out and buy all the Saul's tools, that you might need. And so if you can borrow them to work on a wood project or, refinish a piece of furniture, and you can do it in an apartment building rather than to do it in a garage or a workshop space, it's kind of fun. Gives you a chance to try something you might not have done or haven't done since you might have been a child. So
Yeah, we have a little area in our backyard, and I had gotten some. We were going to put in a little pool, splash pool. Call it what you want, 5 feet deep in the, just to kind of walk in. And I got these quotes, and I looked at these guys. I said, "Oh my God, I'm in the wrong business. You guys make so much money on. I mean, uh, I know what I paid for my concrete here and the retaining walls and the footings, and this is a little hole that I need in my yard, and you're charging me this." So I went back. I went online, found a pool place online, and I saw, okay, the equipment's we were putting a saltwater pool in. We're out by the lake anyway. We're out on the water. Anyway, I looked at it, I was like, oh my God, it's only that much. And they're only going to dig this. And it's only going to take a day to dig that hole. So I told my wife, I said, we're not paying those. I'm not paying. We're going to build that thing ourselves. First of all, it would be another asset in your tool belt, as far as I was concerned, to offer that, to a client that says, I was thinking about putting, oh, we do pools. In fact, we built, my husband and his bud built the pool over the summer. So, we were going to rush to get it done for the sign off, and I said, no, 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 just let's get the house done, and then I know you don't want to rip up some of the but you know what? We're going to put that in there. I want to learn how to do the shotcrete or the gunite. We can do the pavers. We have a plumber. We have an electrician that they can hook up that. We just want to learn how to do it ourselves. So it was interesting because I have no problem hiring people that are like trim, that's an art. Painting is an art. Painting on the interior can change the entire look of your house. And so I was looking at all these guys, and she had a lot of her subs already lined up, and she treats them like gold because trying to get, other people are trying to, get their subs to work on their projects. So we buy them dinner and lunch and make sure that they're happy. We pay them on time. And I don't nickel and dime anyway, because I know that, listen, these guys they do it every day in, day out. Like she was like, why don't you hang the doors? I'm like, I'm not hanging those doors. This guy, we have 27 doors to hang. I'm going to hire a guy that does them every day. They're going to swing nice. I don't want to deal with it. That you hire a specialty, but certain things I want to learn how to do. And one of the things when the pool came up, and I saw how much it cost, and I'm like, oh my God, it's a tiny little thing we're putting in there. It's got this big price tag, and I just said, you know what, we'll do it ourselves. We'll figure it out. And So that's what I'm going to be doing all summer. I'm going to become a pool contractor or learn how it's done, and then add it to our assortment of services that we offer. And hopefully, I'll do a good job. And but I said I can't fathom paying them to do it, even though they're worth it. I'm sure it would have been beautiful, but there's no reason if you can watch some YouTube videos and you can buy the right equipment and you can go out there and do anything you want. I mean, it's just amazing. And I just said, you know what? I'm not paying for that. I'm just going to buy. I actually took one of the quotes and I sent it to the pool company. I said, don't fall off your chair when you see this quote. Just tell me how much all of this stuff costs, and if you'll ship it to my lot. So they did, and I said, okay, you're going to get my business. And then I talked to a couple other guys, and I found an excavator. He goes, oh, I go, how long is it going to take? Oh, I'll do that in a day. And I was like, okay, rock and roll. And then I had to find, one of these contractors and I had to wheel and deal, say, look, if you help me learn how to do this, I'll take care of you in the magazine, whichever way, whatever I need to do, put you on the podcast or, but I want someone that's going to help me know, how everything works. And I can't imagine it being that detailed, but it's an art just like anything else. They do it every day and they just get it done. But to me, I was like, oh, I want to learn how to do that. And
It's
um,
a good thing to know. We literally do a lot of pools because almost every, I'd say probably
yeah,
70
multifamily, they all have a pool, right?
have pools. And, if they're competing, they'll put a pool on the roof, they'll put a pool out, on sort of an outdoor resort area for barbecue grilling and all of the things that go along with it. And we always try to come up with fun and new things to do inside of a pool and around a pool. So it's fun. It's a great thing to know how to do.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to learn how to do it. And I called the county earlier this week. I said, "Hey, I'm getting my final inspection, and it's coming up in a couple of weeks. If if I get the pool permit, will I be able to get the sign off?" They're like, "No. If you were the county over, yes, but in this county, no. You got to get the sign off. So don't dig the pool. Get the sign off, get yourself moved in, and then pull the permit, and then dig your hole, and then you got all summer to work on it." And I said, "Okay, that's good to know." And that's the coolest thing about construction. If you don't know, ask, and then you'll know. And I'm not shy. I've met all the inspectors, and it's a good old boy network, and the top building official. And I put a residential column in my magazine, so I've been talking about every month I do a different column. Hey, dealing with the municipality, dealing with the permitting process. Dealing with the subs, and I knew I had a lot of the stuff I kind of knew, but it was interesting going through it. And and we're going to give it a. I'll probably do it in my June issue. I'll give the house a nice splash, and then move on. But I've been doing ground up, so I put an apartment, two-story condo that was downtown Atlanta, beautiful. And but the rage down here are barn dominiums. That's the big rage that's down here in the South, and so that'll be probably one of my covers, coming up. But in any event, pool. Hey, that's good to know. That. So you know how to build a pool, then, right?
I do.
Yeah,
I do.
awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm gonna when I get done, I'm gonna send you my picture, and I'm gonna get your
I want to see it.
piece and
Yeah.
say, "Hey, good job." You know.
Yeah. I
So
definitely want to see the house.
So if you're out there in commercial construction and coffee talk land out there, and you're thinking about, hey, I would love to build a multifamily, or I would like to maybe, do something cool with an old reuse building, or whatever it might be, or hey, where do I find those vending tools? If someone wanted to reach out to you and bounce some questions off you, how would someone contact you?
Best way to get us is through our website, and either myself or Mary Beth will answer any response, which is msainteriors.com. Pretty simple. And we'll be glad to, reach back out to you, answer any questions you have. And if you need any help with anything that you're designing, let us know.
All right, so I'll put that in the description out there, but MSAinteriors.com, and I'll put that in the description. And if you're thinking about, branching out and you're looking for an interior designer, and maybe it's in Baltimore, maybe it's up in Philly or Delaware, Rehoboth Beach, wherever, reach out, and I'm sure Marcy will help you and get your project done on time, architecturally stimulating, and on budget or under budget, whatever it might be. But she's going to get it done. So. Um, and listen, if anybody wants to reach me, I'm at David C at ccr-mag.com. Listen, I got a press release on Marcy from her publicist, and I looked at it and I said, it was Women's Month, and we just got done with it, History Month, and Women in Construction Week, and I said, yeah, we'd love to have this person on, and so if I didn't. If you don't send me something, I can't look at it. So it's like playing the lottery. If you don't buy a ticket, you can't win. If you don't send me something, I can't look at it. I'll find a place. Hey, you might end up on the show. You might end up in the magazine. Very tough getting in the magazine, but we post stuff on all the social media, and our turnaround time is probably like 2 to 3 days. But we make sure everything's Google indexed, it's meta tagged, it's ready to go. We share the URL. It's good for your social media. It's a win-win. So listen, it could be an anniversary, it could be a new project, it could be a personnel hire. Don't judge the book by cover. Send it to me. One of the things that I learned, from March 2020 till today is that a lot of people learn that work-life balance. So I used to just post construction stuff on the site. Now I branch out a little. I have all sorts of content on there, and you never know what you might find on the site that might be, wow, that's pretty cool that he put that in there. But in any event, you got to send me something. Let us choose it, and it's a win-win for everybody. So, uh, as we finish up, if you were going to leave one positive thought or phrase for our listeners out there on Commercial Construction Coffee Talk as we head into the rest of Q2 and the remainder of the year, what would it be?
Giving yourself more grace and patience as you move through any process of a job. Just being more patient with myself. I'm probably my worst critic. I'm hardest on myself. So if I learn to just kind of give myself that sort of like time to kind of figure it out and ease into it with some grace, I feel like I can handle everything better.
Patience is a virtue.
Absolutely.
If you got to be patient in construction because the concrete truck might be late, or your crew's coming up and your materials aren't here. And we just had our trim guy stop by the house. He's getting a check, and he's like, hey, David, did you get the 4x8 MDFs? I have one more closet to do. I'm like, Benny, man, I already took that up there this morning. He's like, oh, what, did you get the 1x8 dudes? I'm like, yeah, you're good to go, man. Let's rock and roll because we're gonna come up there tomorrow. We want to get that finished. And but I'm patient with them. You got to have patience because when you're building something, you never know what's going to go, what's ever going to go, happen. Hopefully everything goes smoothly, but it's not, and you just got to be ready for it. And nothing is mind-boggling where it's going to, just there's always an answer. You just have to find it. But if you stay calm and collected and patient, you will
Roll
get
with it.
through it.
Let it happen, let it unfold, use your expertise to figure out the best way to solve the problem. I've been in the business a really long time, and you just roll with it and take the patience to think it through, and you'll figure it out.
I know you're patient because you lost your hearing. You had to be patient to get that back. All right. Most people lost their taste, but you lost your hearing. You never know. And until you lose it, you don't appreciate it as much as you do. It's all the little things that you take for granted. And then when you lose it, uh, I always tell people, look, I could keep my company forever. As long as I don't get arthritis or go blind, I'll be okay. But as I get older, it's one of those things. So I take one day at a time, and talk about that. Listen, as we finish up, here's a couple things I want to talk about. Number one, if you're on the construction site, we want you to be safe. We want you to get home, be able to have dinner with your spouse, your wife, your husband, your kids, your pets. Have some fun, laugh, get some REM sleep, and be able to do it the next day. Number two, I already drank this, but we want you to drink water. Okay, you got to stay liquefied. Summer's coming in, the heat's coming. It's 80 degrees down here. The bottom line is, if you keep your body liquefied, put some electrolytes in your water bottle. First of all, you're not going to get headaches, and this is the athlete me. When you get dehydrated, you get headaches. That's when you make bad passes, or you get headaches and you just don't play well. If you're on the construction site and you keep yourself liquefied, first of all, you're going to get through your day so much better. But number two, you're going to sleep better that night, and you're going to wake up and you're going to have that much better of a day. And last but not least, hit the like button. We want everybody to be able to find this episode out with the YouTube algorithms, and so we can hear Marcy's story and all the great projects and all that good stuff. So that's that. Those are my three things that I want you to, be safe, keep yourself liquefied, hit the like button. So with that said, Marcy, pleasure meeting you. Any final thoughts before we sign off?
I'm just really grateful for you having me on. And, I love what you're doing. And, you're teaching everybody about commercial construction, and it's wonderful. And, just looking at your different podcasts to me has been just really fantastic for me to kind of learn how to do these because, this is new for me. And so I'm, just feeling like I can really just talk about what I do and use my expertise to kind of let other people know exactly what's out there.
You need to start your own show. That's what I'm going to tell you. You got just got to go for it and throw yourself. And listen, the podcasting community, it's not like competitors. I mean, it's they're if you everybody they're out there, they're doing their thing, and you learn stuff from other people how they do it, and you just go out there and wing it and have fun. I mean, I listen. I was laughing at myself in the beginning, but you should totally have a show. You should do it and go for it. You'd be great.
One more thing to add to the list, right?
Yeah, exactly. I didn't mean to put any more stuff on your plate,
No, no, it's all good. You were fantastic, and you made it very easy for me to just have a conversation about what I love to do on a daily basis. So I appreciate that.
Well, with that positive thought, Marcy, say goodbye from Baltimore.
Everyone, thank you so much for letting me have this time. I appreciate it.
And I'm going to sign off from Sugar Hill, which is right below the Beaufort Dam on Lake Lanier, about 25, 30 miles north of downtown ATL, which is the LA of the South. Everybody, listen, we're in April, first month of Q2, and before you know it, it's going to be, summer, and then boom, the holidays this year is just flown by. I can't believe it. It's just January 1st, and now I'm almost, finished with the first week, and time is just flying by at warp speed, and it's the most amazing time to be alive. Every day there's something going on in the world. I just kind of look at my phone at the end of the day and figure out what went on, and I'm just one person, so I'm not. What am I going to do? I have my opinions and whatever, but yeah, I'm telling you, it's amazing to see what's going on, and it's they say it's going to be the golden age. I'm waiting, and I'm patient, and I just want everybody to have an awesome, awesome time, and safe travels, prosperity, and good health, and smile and have fun, you know, and that's the way I'm going to leave it. So. Everybody out there, have a great rest of your Thursday and TGIF tomorrow and the weekend. And you got Easter coming up, and I think it's my mother's 85th birthday next week, and can't forget that. And listen, we appreciate you all, and we will see you next time on another episode of Commercial Construction Coffee Talk. And Marcy, when I come to Baltimore, I want you to come. I want to come up there, and you're gonna have to show me some of your local projects. All right? Do I have a deal?
Take you for crowds.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. All right, everybody. We will see you next time. See ya.